Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have the Witchcraft and Wizardry collection releasing October 14th from Night Owl Lacquer. These were sent to me for review, and I will link Night Owl Lacquer's storefront as well as social media down below. These will retail for $50 for the entire collection with free shipping, or $9 each, and I'll go ahead and get into the swatches. First up is What's Fluffy Guarding, and this is described as a deep red polish with copper hollow micro glitters and red micro flakies. So this is in a jelly base. This is a kind of burnt red. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot. And I'll show you how What's Fluffy Guarding swatched on my natural nail. So here is a one easy coat. The formula on these are all kind of in the medium. They're not thick, they're not thin. They go on really well. This one is pretty sheer. It has a jelly base, so it's going to be one that you need to build up. I did notice a tiny amount of pooling toward the edges, so you may want to make sure that you do nice thin coats with this one. I'm going to let this dry and then come back in for a second coat. So here is the second coat. This does build it up a little bit, but it's not quite opaque for me. You do get a nice amount of those micro glitters in there. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for one more coat. So here is the third and final coat, and this does build it up. Under most lightings it looks completely opaque. In outdoor lighting I could see my nail line a little bit. That doesn't bother me with jelly type finishes. I think it has a really pretty effect. So here is a look at the completed mani before top coat. You can see that these dry down fairly glossy and not very textured at all. So here is a view in direct sunlight with top coat, and there you can see what I mean about my nail line showing a little bit. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So next up is Forbidden Forest, and this is described as a dark shimmery green polish with copper and gold hollow micro glitters and gold hollow shreds. So this one to me is gorgeous. It reminds me of a Christmas tree full of all of the lights. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Forbidden Forest swatched on my natural nail. So here is a one easy coat. Again, this one has a really easy formula. It's not thick, it's not thin. It is a little bit sheer though. One coat gives me nice even coverage, but it is still a little bit sheer, so I'm going to let this dry and come back in for one more coat. So here is the second coat. This one is going to dry down a little bit textured because of the larger glitters. Two coats is going to bring this one completely opaque, and it does look like it has some gold shimmer in there as well. I think this is going to be a perfect holiday polish. So here is a look at the completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle and direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So next up is Always, and if you're a fan of the Harry Potter world, this one will absolutely break your heart. It's described as a black jelly polish packed with a violet and iridescent rainbow flakies. So this is in a black jelly base. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Always swatched on my natural nail. So here is a one coat. This one went on really smoothly. It did go on very sheer. It's got that black jelly base, and also maybe a little bit streaky, but it's not gritty at all. Those flakes lay nice and flat. I think this one is going to be also an amazing topper, especially over black where you get all of that shift in the flakes. I'll let this dry and come back in for a second coat. So this second coat is going to build up that base a little bit, and you get a ton more flakies. I can still see nail line though, so I'm going to let this dry and come back in for one more coat. Here is the third coat, and this is going to bring this one right to the edge of being opaque for me. Under Saturn lightings, I could still see a little bit of nail line. I think I would probably prefer this one as a topper. Really pretty though, and this one is also going to look amazing matte. Here's a view at the completed mani before top coat, so not a lot of texture going on here. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So next up is a.p.w.b.d, which stands for Albus Dumbledore's initials. This one is described as a medium gray polish with lots of blue shimmer and blue microflakes. This to me looks like a Patronus. It has an ethereal kind of smoky feel. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how a.p.w.b.d swatched on my natural nail. So here is a one easy coat. The formula on this one is great. You do get a ton of that blue shimmer. It is still pretty sheer though at one coat. I got nice even coverage, but I'm going to let this dry and come back in for two coats. So here is the second coat, and this is going to build it up to pretty much coverage. Like, I did go ahead and do another coat, but you could totally get away with two here. In fact, I wore this to a school meeting. It looked perfect. I did notice a little bit of nail line though, so I am going to let this dry and show you what three coats looks like. So here is the third and final coat. This didn't get too thick on the nail or anything. I do recommend three coats. It just makes it a perfect clean slate. This is another one that's going to look great matte. And that blue shimmer is intense. So here's a look at the completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So next up is Snowy Owl, and this is described as a white polish with lots of gold shimmer, gold micro flakies, and midnight flakies. This is my #1 top pick of this collection. I think it's a perfect representation of Hedwig. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Snowy Owl swatched on my natural nail. So here is one easy coat. This is another one with a great formula. It's kind of a little bit on the thicker side, but that's what I prefer. I had amazing coverage at one coat. It does look a little bit pearly almost too. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for a second coat. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup there with acetone and a cleanup brush. Here is the second coat. And this is going to bring this one completely opaque. You do get a lot of depth with those midnight flakies and lots of shimmer. So here is a look at the completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle and direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So lastly today I have Goblins Love Gold, and this is described as a bright shimmery gold polish with gold hollow shreds and lots of gold hollow glitters of various sizes. So this is a very showy, glittery, shimmery polish. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Goblins Love Gold swatched on my natural nail. So here is one easy coat. This does have a lot of shimmer in it and a lot of gold going on. It is pretty opaque though at one coat. I do prefer this one as a topper. I think it looks amazing over a gold color or over black. I didn't show that today, but I might put a photo on my blog. I'm going to let this dry and then come back in for another coat. So here is the second coat. That shimmer does build up a little bit and you get a ton more glitters. I didn't have any problems with needing to fish out the larger ones or manipulate them too much on the nail. So this is what two coats looks like. I'm going to let this dry and then come back in for one more coat. So here is the third coat, and this does build it up, but it's not really opaque for me. I do have longer nails, but I can still see a good amount of nail line. I'm usually not one to do 4 coats. If it needs 4 coats, I feel like it's better as a topper. This is a very gorgeous, showy polish though. Here's a look at the completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So that wraps up my swatch and review of the Witchcraft and Wizardry collection, releasing October 14th from Night Owl Lacquer. This is my first foray into Night Owl Lacquer's line. I'm really impressed. I enjoyed these. I think she did a great job at representing so many elements from the Harry Potter world. If you'd like more photos, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.wordpress.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.